There are usually two ways to market a product, company, or service. Number one, you use your name. Number two, you create you do create a name for that company. So each one has its own pros and its own advantages and disadvantages. And I want to go through each one. So the first one, which is using your name, is an advantage is that you have no competition. You're yourself, but yourself, and there's no one else to compete against but you. So that's a good one because you don't have competition. However, a disadvantage of using your name would be that you couldn't be able to sell the business or service or product because it has your name. So if you are not longer there, it loses its value. Another disadvantage is that you could be somewhat limited, or not limited, but your actions could harm and damage the product. So we can see people, Trump is an example of how he took certain views and now half of the world, half of the population hates him, right? And therefore his companies, his businesses would be damaged. Number two, using another name, creating a name for a company, product, or service. An advantage of that would be that a disadvantage would be that, of course, you will have to compete because there are other services that could be better than you, so you have to be better than them, quality and everything else, so you have competition. The other one, which is number two, is that if you would like to sell that business, it would be easier because you don't need to be there in case you wanted to sell it. And the other thing, again, a company or a business isn't a person, so the founder could technically do or leave the company and the company is still gonna be there working. So two ways to market a product, using your name. Two ways to market a product, company, or service, whatever you're trying to create. Number one, using your name, and number two, creating a name for that company, product, service, school, whatever you're just trying to create. Remember that. So before you go, I wanted to personally invite you to join to my newsletter where I write a weekly memo that I basically send to hundreds of people every single week about latest trends, new and interesting ideas that I'm learning, in Curiosities, which is a section in my newsletter that you're going to love. Let's stay in touch, and I'll leave the link below so you can subscribe. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the video.